gave some to Keene. He was good company, at any rate. Most men were still overseas, and those that were in the States seemed put off by a widow with a small son. But Gordon, Henry, or Charlie was only eager to please, and his eagerness pleased Evelyn. Keene got carsick, and they pulled over so he could upchuck, but the realtor was unfazed. After patting Keene's back and giving him a mint, he stood stock still and pointed at a brown something lumbering in the saw palmetto in the pine woods beside the road. When she saw it was a wild boar, Evelyn had the all-overs, but whether from joy, fear, or just excitement, she couldn't say. Feral hogs had been hunted to the point they'd almost given out, but it seemed there was still at least one left. The realtor was gallant. He always opened the car door for her without making a scene of rushing around the front of the car. When they stopped at a diner, he held her chair. Their waitress apologized for sitting as she took their orders, but explained she had arthritis. She tied copper wire around her ankle, she told them, but it hadn't done any good. Adam, which was the ugly realtor's name, asked to inspect the wire. He knelt at the waitress's ankle, and Evelyn found herself admiring the muscles along his back. "Are you a root doctor?" the waitress asked. "My mama was a root doctor, and I got some leaning that way myself. I'm always first to know when a woman's going to have a baby." Adam did not confirm or deny that he was a root doctor, but merely said, "Yes, I thought so. You have this wire twisted right over left. You have to twist it left over right. 1 second." He untwisted the wire and then retwisted it and took his seat. "We'll see if that doesn't help." Adam ordered them chili dogs. The menu was very limited, and a beer for himself, which Evelyn thought a very urbane and sophisticated thing to do in the middle of the day. When the waitress left, Evelyn whispered conspiratorially, "She actually thinks you're a root doctor." "You actually think I'm a real estate man," Adam said. Evelyn laughed at that. "Actually, I just like helping out." And then he told her a joke. In the middle of a play, this actor grabs his chest and falls to the floor. Adam clapped the table to demonstrate. The other actors gather round in panic, and then one of them says, "Is there a doctor in the house?" For a second, no one says a thing. Then in the back row, a man stands up and says, "I'm a doctor." So he goes up on stage and loosens the actor's collar and palpitates his chest and whatnot until the ambulance gets there. So the ambulance driver says, "Thank God you were here. Doc, you probably saved his life." "Well, the truth is," the man says, "I'm not really a doctor. I'm a bookkeeper." "My God," says the ambulance driver, "you had this man's life in your hands. Why did you tell these people you were a doctor?" "Well," says the man, scratching his chin and thinking about it, "nobody else stood up." The joke didn't strike Evelyn as particularly funny, but she laughed anyway. She had resigned herself to going back to her room at the motor court and spending the night convincing herself by heroic self-assurances that the bungalow was not so bad after all, and that if nothing else was to be had, she and Keene would make do. But as they ate, Adam described a house that would be just perfect for them. A 3-bedroom, 2-bath stucco that backed up onto an orange grove. When the blooms came in, they perfumed the place up something fierce. There was a live oak from which, if she wished, they could hang a swing for Keene. The best place in the world to raise a family. He took a shiny brass key from his back pocket and pushed it across the table toward her, and Evelyn realized that Adam was describing his own house, and that he was flirting with her, had in fact been flirting with her all day. She knew then that she was going to marry him. Red-faced, flattened nose, cauliflower ear and all. That marriage was as certain as the cooling summer squall promised by the distant thunder.